Siguro at the heart of it is how do we deal with difference? At sinasabi ko nga doon, nung nagpa-facilitate ako ng dialogue, I suggested that maybe we can profit if we distinguish between position and values. On the level of position, there is an opposition between the stance of no hijab policy against allowing hijab in the campus for Muslim girls and women. That's on the level of position, hijab or no hijab. But if you ask about values behind them, sisters, why don't you allow the wearing of hijab? Aside from historical tradition, the point is they want to avoid discrimination. Because the sisters, the administrators of Pilar College, they want to avoid discrimination. First of all, for a start, Pilar College started as a school for Catholics, Catholic girls. Later on, they admitted some boys. And at a certain point, they allowed Muslims. So, but provided they followed the ordinary school uniform, school policies. There was a time when the wearing of hijab became an issue, so maybe around the early 80s. So they experimented on the wearing of hijab, but the community was not prepared. Some expressed awkwardness in seeing some other people. And so they decided that maybe so that the students will have some comfort and ordinary feeling that we are all together the same, they removed the wearing of hijab. So they made it into a policy, as stated in their student handbook, that there is a prescribed uniform, and the prescribed uniform includes the policy that there should be no head cover. Okay. But then later on, the number of Muslim enrollees increased. More than 35% in elementary, almost the same in high school, and at least 22% in college. So on that note, the RVM sisters can be said to be hospitable to the Muslims. They are not discriminating against the Muslims precisely because they have allowed them to enroll. And many of the students here enrolled are actually children of former students who have become alumni, and they are now parents, Muslims. So because they find the quality of education being offered by Pilar College as of high standard. So on that note, so we can ask, sister, why don't you allow the wearing of hijab? For uniformity, to avoid discrimination. Now, if you ask the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos, why do you want Pilar College to allow the wearing of hijab? So that they would feel not discriminated against. They want to avoid discrimination by allowing difference in the campus. So take note, on the level of position, they are opposite. Hijab versus no hijab. On the level of values, come to think of it, both are trying to avoid discrimination and therefore promoting respect and equality. But there is a difference. One tries to avoid discrimination by hiding the difference. The other one tries to avoid discrimination by accepting difference. On that note, then there is room for dialogue. Because right now, on the level of position, we may be different. But on the level of values, there is a lot of shared principles and shared values. Now, if that is established, that there is a shared value of respect and inclusion of differences. It's just a matter of how do you deal with difference in the concrete in terms of policy. I think that should be highlighted because most of the comments, I think, simply stay on the level of position without going deeper into values. And some of the Muslim religious scholars would say not just values but spirituality.
Bakit?
Well,
Spirituality.
Well, if I may put it this way, we are like islands. Para tayong mga isla na sa ibabaw ng tubig, magkakahiwalay. Pero pag ikaw ay sumisid, magkakaugnay. But you need a level of spirituality to recognize that behind the apparent difference on the surface, there is a deeper connection and connectivity. But, that's why it's good for the discussion on this matter not to remain on the superficial level of policy and position.